welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. This is going to be a Saturday lunchtime preview of tomorrow afternoon's Scottish League quarter-final for Celtic against Partick Thistle, a game in which Brendan Rodgers might well look to rest and rotate a wee bit in preparation for next Wednesday's Europa League first game against Red Star Belgrade away from home. Rodgers does have a wee bit of a balancing act of giving a few players new to the squad and new to the team further games, also giving some of the backup players who might be very important coming off the bench a wee go to keep their match fitness and sharpness up, and also possibly protecting a couple of Celtic's best players in line for that Red Star Belgrade game next Wednesday. So in the video, we're going to have a wee look at my predicted lineup and predicted score, a wee brief look at the financial statement and one or two additional statements from the chairman and the CEO related to that. Also, a wee bit about the Barrowfield new complex being opened, and also update on some Celtic players who've been injured and are in line for coming back into the squad. So first, looking at the game against Partick Thistle tomorrow, I think Brendan Rodgers will be doing a wee bit of resting and rotating. I think in goal will be Viljami Sinisalo. At right back, Colby Donovan. Centre backs, I think, will be Dane Murray and Liam Scales, with Marcello Sirac trying to give Kieran Tierney at least some time off, or possibly even keeping him out the team altogether. In midfield, I think we'll go for Arnie Engels in the deeper role, Benjamin Negreen and Luke McCowan in midfield. I think we'll swap Sebastian Chiniecki to the right, Mikael Onge Balakwisha to the left, and starting Iheanacho through the middle. In yesterday's press conference, Brendan Rodgers did a good job avoiding lots of questions about the board, the finances and the transfer market and a lot of the controversies, and stuck most of the time to updating on the players and on the squad, etc., and also on the fitness issues and so on. So I think he did a much better job than previous times updating and doing his press conferences, and I think he was kind of also suggesting that there's a plan to swap Balakwisha out to the left, where he has tended to be at his best. And Chiniecki, in his press conference through the week, had talked about being happy to play on the right or the left or wherever Brendan Rodgers picks him. I think Celtic will try, and if all goes well early in the game and they get a couple of goals up, I think they will also try and bring on players like Shin Yamada, Johnny Kenny, Yang, Forrest, Paulo Bernardo, again, all to give them some game time in preparation for the Europa League game on the Wednesday. Probably on the bench, Rodgers will keep going with a few of the better players, such as Maeda, Tierney, McGregor, Hatate, etc., and try not to use them if at all possible. In terms of the score, I'm going to go for a nice comfortable 3-0 win for Celtic. I think Celtic will start fast and quick, try and get a foothold and a dominance over Partick Thistle nice and early, score an early goal or two, and then that does then allow Brendan Rodgers to rest a few of the players likely to be starting against Red Star Belgrade, and also give some of the squad backups a go. I would be surprised if Partick Thistle do give Celtic a real challenge, but having those backups on the bench and a few of the best players on the bench does give a wee bit of a guarantee that things can be redeemed, much like they were this time last season, when we were 2-1 down to Falkirk with 20 minutes to go, and on came Kuhn to score a couple of goals and be the star player. And I think Celtic certainly have the strength on the bench, both with their backup players and keeping a few of the star players in reserve. Do feel free to pop your own thoughts regarding lineups and scores and predictions, etc., into the comment section. Always great to have a wee bit of a debate amongst like-minded Celtic fans. Brendan Rodgers in his press conference yesterday also was updating on the injury situation for a few of Celtic's players. Said that Austin Trusty and Anthony Ralston were back training with the squad, should be back into full training next week, and so one would expect that those players will be back into Celtic's matchday squad probably the week after that, so possibly in line for the Hibs game, possibly a wee bit after that. A wee bit vague regarding Alistair Johnston, although he did say that Alistair Johnston was ahead of expected timelines, that he was just starting to do proper work in the gym to get his strength and conditioning and fitness back up. I think then the plan would be then to get him out training on the grass and then training more fully with the squad. And so maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks and the start of October, early mid October, and we might have Alistair Johnson back in the squad. Other big news from Celtic on Friday were two things. Celtic officially opened their new Barrowfield training complex. That complex is going to be for the boys' academy, the girls' academy, and also the women's team. It's got state-of-the-art indoor pitch, in essence a full length pitch indoors, which ensures that the players from those three different parts of the club can train all year round, no matter the weather outside. They've got large outdoor pitches as well, state-of-the-art gym, state-of-the-art fitness suites, state-of-the-art and match analysis, sports science, and so on. And apparently mirrors very much the same facilities that are available at the Lennoxtown training facilities where the main Celtic men's squad do all their training. I think it's a big, good positive move. I think, as I've said in previous live streams, it's very, very, very important that Celtic get their academy as efficient and as effective as possible. And bring through our own players does help with all the UEFA and criteria of homegrown players and Scottish trained players. I think also having the highest possible levels of physio, medical, sports science, match analysis, etc., also does help the women's team and the academy teams really get better and better rapidly. And so I think a very, very positive move for those three other teams involved in the Celtic main club. Other thing where a financial statement was released on Friday afternoon. Lots of very positive features to that. Celtic had managed to increase their revenue and increase their post-tax profits. Apparently, the great majority of that extra revenue and extra profits was related to the Champions League revenues, prize money and match day monies, etc. And so obviously this season, with us being in the Europa League, that's going to disappear. Other important figures coming out of yesterday's financial statement was that Celtic's bank balance has stayed steady at a positive of 77 million, which is very encouraging. Also, I thought, which was also very, very encouraging and kind of confounds a wee bit all of the accusations against the board and the finance people at the club. Celtic's transfer fees paid and agent fees, etc., linked to those transfers was an all-time record at over £42 million. Celtic's wage budget for both players and for non-playing staff rose quite considerably, and Celtic's playing staff is being paid the most in the history of the club. Also quite important is that Celtic's squad as a whole, in terms of being rated as an asset, is the most expensive, highest quality in terms of player assets in the history of the club as well, all of which is very, very encouraging. There were sections in both the statement made by the chairman, Peter Lawwell, and the chief executive officer, Michael Nicholson, saying that the board recognises that the transfer window in summer 2025 didn't go well as expected. It does promise changes and improvements in the underlying structures so that players can be brought in quicker and more efficiently and without so many hold-ups and hitches as was the case this summer. Board taking responsibility for their side of things in terms of the transfer window, and assuring the club and the fans and everybody that things will improve, things will get better. And that's all very, very encouraging for me. However, very interesting, quite a lot of the Celtic fan sites and Celtic YouTube sites and social media sites, very critical apparently again, trying to find negatives where there weren't actually terribly many negatives. Revenues up, profits are up, player transfer fees paid was up, agent fees were up, wages for the players and for the non-playing staff are all up. And the actual estimated cost and quality of the squad as a financial asset also was the highest it's ever been. So all very, very positive things, and strangely, some sites and some fan groups saying critical that things should have been even better than that, i.e. breaking the record by even more and using up the underlying bank balance resources was more important, and still showed a lack of ambition, despite the fact that they broke the record for fees paid, agent fees paid, and for player salaries. And also some indications from the CEO statement that there may well be planned additional improvements in the Celtic Park stadium, fan comfort aspects, and other modernisations of various different parts of the Celtic Park Stadium. So all very encouraging. And I dare say we'll find further details in the AGM, which is likely to be around November, although the date for that's not been confirmed. And then obviously further financial figures next April, in April 2026, which will reflect much more on the season 25-26, as all these financial figures actually relate to last season rather than this season. So that just about finishes things off for today's wee video. Do feel free to pop your thoughts and comments into the comment section. If you are new to the channel, not yet subscribed, please do click that subscriber button. We'll be doing a post-match review sometime on Monday of the Partick Thistle match. Also, there will be a further fan live stream on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. So do feel free to join that as well. And so until the next video, which will be the post-match review of Celtic's expected win over Partick Thistle tomorrow afternoon, goodbye, good luck Celtic in tomorrow's game, and hail, hail!